Traditionally, every 2 years, leading experts and specialists in the field of offshore oil and gas resources development gather at the RAO CIS Offshore International Conference and Exhibition in mid-September in St. Petersburg. The history of RAO CIS Offshore dates back to 1993, when, on a wave of enthusiasm and interest towards oil and gas resources development of the Russian Arctic Shelf, the Rosshelf company was established and the Stockman, Priazlomny and Sakhalin projects were launched. Complex events at the forum have been enjoying an increased level of interest amongst leading specialists and scientists for many years now. RAO CIS Offshore 2009 was opened with a press conference entitled "The Development of Large-Scale Oil and Gas Projects as the Feasible Way Out of the National Economic Crisis" on September the 15th at the Mikhailovsky Hall. Taking part in the conference were Alexei Kontorovich, academic, chairman of the RAO CIS Offshore Programme Committee, Viktor Orlov, chairman of the Federal Committee on Natural Resources and Environmental Protection, Bengt Hansen, president of Statoil Hydro Russia, and Pierre Nagrarian, Director General of Total Exploration and Production Russia. The official opening ceremony kicked off the intense negotiations and discussions in roundtable meetings and at the stands of key companies.
Я думаю, что Санкт-Петербург и организации, которые создали этот форум,
I think that St. Petersburg and the organizations which organize the forum have something to be proud of. It has become a brainstorm and innovation center for scientific, technological and engineering solutions which will be guidelines for further development and exploitation of oil, gas and other natural resources of the Arctic region and Arctic Ocean.
Освоение ресурсов нефти, газа и других полезных ископаемых Арктики и Северного Ледовитого океана.
Думаю, что абсолютно не случайно традиционным местом проведения.
In my opinion, it is not a coincidence that our city has become a venue, a traditional venue for the exhibition and the conference. A lot of research and design institutions which are engaged in offshore production technologies are situated here. The majority of our shipbuilding companies have already been designing ships which will be used in the production, and students from our universities will soon work in Russian offshore areas.
Завтра работать на шельфе на всей территории России.
Statoil Hydro ASA became the exclusive sponsor of the event in 2009, and for good reason.
Statoil Hydro has been the main sponsor of RAO for 5 consecutive times. We regard RAO as an important arena for exchanging expertise and driving dialogue with our business partners.
Gazprom and Total SA became general sponsors this year, while Shell, Rosneft and Detnorska Veritas became official sponsors. Roundtable meetings were supported by ExxonMobil and FMS Technologies.
Total en Russie, c'est d'abord Karyaga. Nous fêtons au mois d'octobre les 10 ans de production de Karyaga.
We offer several projects concerning the work of Total concern in Russia. The oldest of them is Hariago. We have been forwarding the project for more than 10 years. Today the production volume amounts to 30,000 barrels per day. At the same time, we have new projects to offer, for example, Stockman deposit. The project was signed by our partners Gazprom and Statoil Hydro in 2007.
Et qui est en cours de développement et d'études avec nos partenaires Gazprom et Statoil Hydro.
3 plenary sessions, 9 roundtable meetings, the exhibition and networking centre were held within the framework of the RAO CIS Offshore 2009. The first plenary session took place at the Congress Hall of Smolny Cathedral. Representatives of Russian and international oil and gas companies, members of state authorities, well-known scientists and researchers presented their reports at the plenary session. The fact that Russian companies are interested in competent Arctic development is well understood. Reports presented at the session allowed a comprehensive estimate of companies' readiness for collaboration with foreign companies and for carrying out projects to schedule, despite difficulties. A crucial factor which was covered by our speakers in one way or other comes into force. I will address it from another angle, emphasizing the issue of the long-term gas production and consumption balance in the Russian Federation. Today, Gazprom probably plays the major role in the formulation of the document. We have the comprehension of the perspective of gas consumption and export in Russia, according to our long-term contracts up to 2030. And we are sure how much of gas we need. At least we can say with a high degree of probability how much of gas we will need for the 2 next decades. Thus, the deposit exploitation is planned according to these figures. Also, we take into account the production of the existing deposits and calculate the gas balance. That's how we build up our investment program. The second plenary session took place at the Grand Hotel Europe on September the 16th. Reports presented at the session covered the ways in which Russian and foreign companies are preparing for the development of the Stockman gas condensate field, as well as high technologies for severe climatic conditions and international cooperation to provide safety for oil and gas projects in the Barents Sea. Over 200 reports were presented to the eager audience within the framework of roundtable discussions. Participants of the forum discussed the problems of development and exploitation of ocean shelves in the North, South and Far East, issues of technological environmental safety, and the possibilities of interregional and international collaboration. Special notice should be given to the roundtable discussion, which focused on the potential of the Stockman gas condensate field development, one of the most promising and complex projects today. The key objective was to organize the meetings of international and Russian contractors and establish business relations between them. We don't implement sea projects, we lack experience, and consolidation of the international and Russian experience is undoubtedly the best way to obtain this experience, and I think that this consolidation had taken place. Traditionally, roundtable meetings are dedicated to promising works by young specialists and students, and take place within the framework of RAO CIS Offshore. During the final day of the conference, young specialists receive awards for the best reports in the students' competition. However, the intense program of business events wasn't the only reason for the meeting. The conference program was accompanied by an exhibition at the Mikhailovsky Hall, showing investment offshore field development projects, drilling equipment, floating and subsea engineering facilities, designs for the construction of marine oil and gas production facilities, ice technologies, shipbuilding and environmental safety facilities. 2,000 specialists from various regions around Russia, as well as from other countries, visited the exhibition over the 4 days. Over 200 participants from 22 countries attended the event.
Хочу вам напомнить слова Михаила Васильевича Ломоносова, которые не все знают.
I want to remind you what Mikhail Vassilievich Lomonosov said, his not widely known quotation, an extract of which is written near the university campus in Novosibirsk, where I live. Siberia will increase Russian wealth. But that's not what Lomonosov said. He said, Siberia and the North Arctic Ocean will increase Russian wealth. Today, the time has come for the North Arctic Ocean to increase Russian wealth once again, to raise standards of life and economic levels in our country.
Помог обогатиться еще раз, помог поднять уровень жизни и экономический уровень нашей страны.
The conference once again reaffirmed its status as the most important forum for the industry. There's every reason to suggest that future meetings will be just as effective as the previous ones. We look forward to seeing you at RAO CIS Offshore in St. Petersburg in 2011.